The Israeli military has launched airstrikes on Houthi-controlled areas in Yemen. The strikes hit the capital, Sanaa, the port city of Hodeidah, and an oil facility in the west. Israel says it was targeting military assets. US-led forces have also struck the country with airstrikes since the start of the year. Hours earlier, Israel intercepted a missile launched from Yemen. This is the damage in Tel Aviv. A school was hit by debris from intercepting that missile. It's the second time this week that Israel's military has intercepted a missile from Yemen. Houthi forces have been launching drones and strikes in solidarity with Palestinians in Gaza. Let's bring in Hussain Albukhaiti. He's a pro-Houthi journalist and political analyst, and he joins us live now from the Yemeni capital, Sanaa. Sir, thank you very much for being with us. First of all, can you just tell us, bring us up to date with the latest on these strikes? We're hearing that at least 9 people have been killed. Do you have more information?
The Zionist state of Israel has conducted about 13 strikes on areas in Hodeidah and as well in Sanaa. 4 strikes has targeted a power station in Hizia's area north of Sanaa, and 2 strikes have targeted the Haban power station south of Sanaa as well. And 4 strikes have targeted the Hodeidah port, and 1 strike targeted as well as Salif port in Hodeidah, resulting in 2 workers has been killed, and 2 other strike on Ras Isa oil terminal, which have resulted in 7 workers has been killed. Of course, this attack came as a retaliation from Israel against Yemen, because Yemeni has been conducted on a weekly basis attacks either on Israel directly or either on the Red Sea, on any ship that's actually aiding the Zionist state of Israel. Until this moment, the Yemeni army has said that they will release a statement in the coming hours regarding the latest attack against Israel.
And you mentioned that the Houthis have frequently sent missiles and drones into Israel. And we've also seen Israel target multiple locations in Yemen several times as well. Now, how long will this continue? The Houthis do say their goal is to help the Palestinians in Gaza, but so far that strategy has not really had any positive effect or made any difference. How long will this continue?
It might not have effect in Gaza or forcing Israel to stop its attack and blockade against Gaza. But of course, we know that Yemeni attack against Israel and as well the blockade formed in the Red Sea has resulted in the closure of the Eilat port south of occupied Palestine, and as well have increased cost in Israel, because now ships that are linked to Israel cannot use the Red Sea. They have to go around Africa, and is actually having some damage against the Zionist state economy. And Yemeni have said clearly that they will not stop this attack unless the Israeli regime will stop its attack against Gaza, lift the blockade and withdraw from Gaza. And just to mention that the attacks by Israeli regime is easy to target civilians, target like they did in Gaza and now they do in Yemen. But will this result in Yemen stopping its attack? No, it will not actually intact. Yemeni military capability is still intact. We know that the United States and UK in the so-called Prosperity Guardian has conducted more than 500 attacks against Yemen, but still Yemeni is still launching attack on United States battleship. And we remember that during the 9 years of war by the Saudi and United Arab Emirates and their coalition, which was supported directly by the United States, they have conducted more than 270,000 airstrikes against Yemen, targeting all civilians infrastructure in Yemen, including those same area that Israeli has targeted now. But what has that actually resulted? It has actually increased the capability of Yemeni army, and instead of being under blockade from Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates before, now Yemeni are the one who are forming actually blockade against the Zionist state of Israel. And I can just assure you that if any country around Yemen, if they will at one point help the Zionist state of Israel or help the United States to conduct more attack against Yemen, I believe that Yemeni will retaliate by blocking the Red Sea against those countries and targeting as well any country that have any United States bases used against Yemen.
So amid all of those geopolitical movements and the strikes and the counter-strikes that you talk about, it is the Yemeni civilians who are suffering. I mean, they're caught in the middle of this. So what effect will this have on them, and how much will they accept of all of this?
It is a war, and of course, Israeli will target civilians. But if we see that today, as an example, there are 9 civilians has been killed. But if we see, on the other hand, what's happening in Gaza, about 50,000 civilians, mostly women and children, has been killed. The entire Gaza district has been destroyed. That's why Yemeni actually feel they should actually continue their attack, regardless of what Israeli gonna do, or those civilians infrastructure that Israeli might target or will target in the future, or as they did today. Because if Yemeni will stop their attack, this means that Israeli are the one who is in control. But Yemeni have sent a clear message, whatever the result of the Israeli attack. And we should remember as well what happened during the Saudi war against Yemen. Yemeni will continue their attack. They believe this is their moral obligation to target Israel, to stop them from conducting more attack against Gaza. And I believe that Yemeni as well, when they launch attack against Israel using ballistic missile, they have, I believe they still have a stronger type of missiles, more accurate missiles, and they could actually start a new stage by forming a blockade against Israeli port or in occupied Palestine in the Mediterranean Sea. And I believe they are able to do so, and they can as well conduct a blockade against country that actually aiding the Zionist state of Israel, like Germany. If Yemeni will do so in the Red Sea, I believe they could actually form a blockade against those ports in the Mediterranean Sea, like they did against Eilat port in South occupied Palestine in the Red Sea.
All right. Well, thank you very much for sharing your views. That's Hussain Albukhaiti from Sanaa in Yemen.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.